What is up, everybody? It's Sam, and we are back with another episode of Pessimistic at Best, the podcast. And I have my friend Dylan here with me.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm so good. It's a beautiful day.
Great to see you. I'm happy to have you to our house. It's your first time here.
Yes, virgin.
Yeah, version to the apartment. I love it. Cherry popped. Consider it. Yeah, I know, which is also kind of crazy because you live like, what, 5 minutes from me?
Less than, like 2 blocks. Less than 2 blocks, I would say.
I thought it was kind of funny when you gave me your ETA because I was like, you literally live so close.
I like to keep people aware, and I am an early bird, kind of. Some people don't like that.
I'm sort of not. I don't mind when someone shows up early to my place, but you can't expect me to show up early to yours.
In college, I was always like very stressed about getting to class on time.
That was the one place where I'm early. Was class, mostly because I'm particular about where I sit.
That's big. And it was an adjustment when I had my first job and there were meetings scheduled and I got to the meeting room 5-10 minutes early and nobody else was there. And then everybody else shows up 1 minute after the meeting starts. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's different.
Sort of a different vibe. Totally. Yeah. For me, it's mostly social settings. I'm always late. I actually did get in a really bad habit of also being late to work. Always early to class, though. I think there's also something about an entire lecture room of people staring at you as you walk in. That's sort of I would prefer to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, that's worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I might skip class rather than go through that embarrassment unless it was exam day.
100%. I still have actually a recurring nightmare that I've been skipping a class all semester.
I have that every 3 months. It kind of comes back around.
It's crazy.
It's the most stressful thing for me,
yeah.
which is so sad because I've been out of school for.
I mean, it's really been 5 years. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Old.
I think it's kind of crazy that I never met you in college, to be honest.
Our paths never crossed somehow, even though we have lots of overlap. And
tons of mutual friends.
You're from Madison, and I'm just south of Madison. Yeah. It was 30 minutes. I would always hit up the Westtown Mall. My brother worked at the Westtown Mall Auntie Anne's Pretzels for years.
Way. That's awesome.
And he would bring home leftover pretzels after he was done.
Are you sick of them?
Yes, we got very sick of them eventually, but it was very fun at first.
I sort of love Auntie Anne's. James and I had this thing happen to us where the last several times that we've traveled now, I don't know what it is about an airport. It always makes me crave Auntie Anne's. And there was an Auntie Anne's. I can't even remember what trip it was now. I think it was maybe when we went out to Seattle. And in the airport, there was an Auntie Anne's there. We landed, tried to get Auntie Anne's. They were just closing. And then on our way out, we were trying to get Auntie Anne's. They were just opening. So neither time we were allowed to have a pretzel. And the way that then you really crave it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's something, it's intoxicating. I mean, that's what everybody would say. I mean, and it's good airport food because it's not going to mess you up too bad. It's not a big old Whopper in your tummy.
I know, dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you opened up an Auntie Anne's pretzel on the plane too, people would be like,
yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. It's kind of like a stroop waffle.
That's so true. Pleasant smell.
Yeah.
I know. That's also my favorite part about the Belvedere Oasis is the Auntie Anne's.
I've kind of heel turned on the Belvedere Oasis.
Have you?
I used to think it was the Holy Grail.
It's sort of like my safe space.
Yeah. It's fun. I get it. But the luster has worn off. And also, the actual Oasis itself, the Oasis proper, is nice. It's fine. The little gas station, not on Oasis property, but not actually part of the Oasis, is the seventh circle of hell. Yeah. It's awful. I'm only stopping at the Oasis, I guess, if I just need to use the bathroom or something, but I try to avoid that. But I hate stopping there for gas, and sometimes it's I don't want to do it in the city. So that's why I've turned on it. I stop right across the border. And then we just zoom past it.
Okay,
I keep my head down. I try not to let it shame me.
Don't think about it. Yeah. No, I'm sort of still team Oasis, but I understand. Also, every single time that we pull off to go, we fuck that up. And then we end up where the trucks are every time. I don't think we've ever gotten it right. It's kind of crazy.
There are the trucks are lined up almost to the highway. It's crazy.
I know.
It's weird.
And to be a trucker, I can't imagine.
Trucker culture, they're built different for sure. It's not for me.
No, same. I know. I have a friend who used to work in basically he was the organizer of where all the trucks go. And
Logistic.
I was that kind of sounds like a bad job.
Interesting. I wonder if that would be
boring.
mentally engaging. Like it's like there's something like aesthetic about like all these trucks pulling out perfectly, but maybe that's my mind like thinking that it works perfectly.
Like a puzzle.
It's really just like old like white men like yelling at me. Probably not to anybody could be a truck driver.
I think there is sort of. I think it's a stereotype for a reason. Yeah. But yes, I'm happy to have you on this podcast. Long time coming. I think you're hilarious. So
thank you.
I'm happy to have you here. And I'm happy to have you to our house. It's crazy that Darcy came here first.
Yeah, she beat me.
She did. Which is ladies first. I mean, everybody knows that.
She's a better hang anyway. Darcy, my lovely partner in life.
She's the
but
best.
not married. Just my girlfriend.
I know. One time I called James my betrothed on this podcast, and everyone was like, "Are you guys engaged?" No. In spirit, you know. Yeah, I think the idea of marriage is cool, but I also still feel like I'm like 18.
It's really stressful. The thought of planning it, because that's a kind of a big part of it.
Yeah.
We've thought about eloping sounds a little more fun and exciting, even though we're like planner type people. Like we like
same.
Like it makes sense that we would like to plan a wedding, but it's more like that's going to be like 9 months, like a year of like constant work. I'm like, but I also am the type of person, I'm like, I get an idea. I'm like, well, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Now.
Totally. Well, I used to think that wedding planner would actually be a really fun job, but then I've seen now a couple of people kind of go through the process. I feel like people our age are starting to get married, which is very cool, but also very terrifying at the same time. And it seems mostly stressful. So I haven't really seen the fun part yet.
Even on like the day of, I mean, you hear all these things. It's like, enjoy the day. Like it's going to fly by. Like, well, duh. Like you're busy. Like
sort of the whole point.
Yeah. Like if I had a day planned out minute by minute, like it's going to go fast.
Totally. And like we saw James's brother actually recently got married in December, and he gave us about 3 weeks notice. So they kind of did we're just going to run and gun it.
Kind of in the middle. That's nice.
And so they got married actually at the Capitol in Madison. You just kind of find a place to stand, do the thing. It's crazy. I was like, this is like so haphazard, but also very charming. The woman who officiated them too, they like found her on the internet, interviewed her first over like Zoom or something. And then they wanted to do their wedding at 5 p.m. on a Friday. And she was like, well, she's like a 70-year-old woman. She was like, well, I usually have plans Fridays. And she was like, so could we bump it up to 4:30? And they were like, sure. And I love that it wasn't even like she did have plans, like just probably want to leave.
It's like I usually save my Fridays for like something fun,
like bingo night.
Yeah, like not officiating your wedding at 5.
Literally. But now I kind of saw them do that, and I was like, there's something kind of nice about how little went into that. Low stress. You kind of don't invite anybody, so no one can get pissed off.
I was gonna say maybe all of the people who come could also be the people I just find on Zoom. It's like, hey, are you free like Friday? Like, do you usually have plans?
Yeah, right.
Or are you likely like free? Because we're just looking for like some seat fillers.
Yeah, we would love just a couple extras. Yeah, literally.
You're hot. Like, we need some hot people in the back.
Hotties only. Literally. I know. But now I feel pressure's on a little bit, to be honest, because James's mom was like, well, we're counting on you. I was like, oh, fuck. Totally.
That is... No, you don't want to be counted. Sometimes it's nice to not be counted on by the other person's family too.
By the in-laws. But they're the best. But yeah, how's your morning? Hilarious that you were also going to bring donuts.
Yeah, I wanted to do something nice. My local, the Kedzie Kids, the Kedzie crew, because we're on the same street. Thought about bringing coffee and donuts, and which is something I never really do. I never do that for my own family. We have a dog now, so I've been like calling us a family more so because it's kind of cute. It's kind of ironic, but also wholesome. Trying to walk that line in my life for the most part.
That's a good line to walk.
Instead I just brought 2 Miller Lights for James. You're welcome to have one as well. So
he'll have to do a little splitsies, yeah, because otherwise it's simply not fair. Are you a Miller Lite guy? Would you say?
I drink Miller Lite. I had some last night. It was really tasty.
James is like riding that train.
I don't really have like a beer I ride for.
I guess same.
I drink beer, but I try to. Moderation is what I have been working on the past few years. So I'll drink, but I don't try not to go too crazy. I saw a guy on my walk over here. Mm-hmm. There was a guy. Yeah, there was a guy walking out of his house to his motorcycle or something, and he had a half drank Miller High Life.
Oh, and he's operating a vehicle.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He might have just been hankering, perhaps,
Okay.
but just to not to date this, but it is Saturday at 11:45. So
Yes.
do whatever you want. But
It's true.
He's having a great day, I think.
That's nice. I know. I love the idea of a weekend, especially as soon as it gets nice out. Like all the rules around like the time you're supposed to drink kind of just go out the window, which is, there's something really soothing about that.
Yeah, it's like anarchy, but it's like we're all just like, oh, thank God. It's like winter's
Literally.
over. Like we're ready to like just kind of live.
It has been so crazy though, because I was not expecting it to be like this. We never get spring. It kind of just goes winter to summer.
Yeah, you get maybe like a week.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we had like 3 days this week that were kind of spring, and then it was like a little too hot.
So hot.
I'm like showing off on the video here my like sunburnt thigh, but it's just my left thigh, and it's just kind of a third of it.
You're gonna
Just
have
like-
it. You're gonna be off balance a little.
Just like the really meaty part of it. So it'll probably start bubbling and
festering.
Yeah, it's gross.
That's always good.
Um,
I know. Well, I'm not really a summer girl. I love the summer in terms of the vibes, the mood. Hate being hot. Sort of, I'm anti-heat.
Yeah, I would love to. I'll wear shorts. I pulled these shorts out of the recesses of.
amazing.
Oh, thank you. Pulled them out of the bottom of my drawer.
I'm the same. I don't. Yeah.
I'd rather kind of wear the same pair of pants like every day, which is
Yeah.
kind of what I do.
I've always been anti-shorts. I don't know what it is. I think I've just never had a pair that I really like. And every summer, it doesn't happen with any other season, but I literally went through this today. This is an outfit that I wore several times last summer. I can't remember for the life of me, like ever, what people wear in the summertime. I was like, this is so crazy. I'm staring at my closet like I don't have clothes for this season, and it comes around every year. Where could they be?
And you're kind of a thrifter. Are you a vintage thrifter? How often do you go like, you're like, I need to go get some clothes? Or is it more of, I'm out shopping, ooh, I'm going to stop by here too?
So that's a great question. I used to vintage shop in Madison specifically. I would hit Good Style Shop. Are you familiar?
Oh, yes. East Johnson, we lived very close.
It's the best.
It was a great spot.
Love that store. I would honestly hit that like every weekend, if not more. It was so crazy. It was honestly terrible. It was bad for my wallet.
I was going to say, I didn't shop there as much due to the pricing.
And right, it's not
nice
even
stuff.
real thrifting because the hunt is over. They did it for you.
The hunt is over. This is like colonial people, like, the hunt is over.
Literally. And it's just so crazy because I like actual thrifting too, where you're kind of doing the hard work. I also lived very close to the St. Vinny's on Willie Street.
Ooh, great spot. That's more of my vibe.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know who it was, but one of the people who thrifted for Good Style had like they knew me. They had my exact style down. I was like, okay, well, you already kind of stole all the clothes that I wanted from Vinny's, so I have to come here.
You need to like stalk her and be like, oh, she's going to.
Yeah.
No, she's already in there.
Get her on like Find My Friends or something. Yeah.
You like you walk up and you see her already in the window, and she's like pointing. I got the good stuff.
Yeah. Straight up.
Good luck finding anything that fits.
Honestly. So, but yeah, I've tried to tone it back a little bit here. One, I don't think I found all my spots yet. I've hit the Village Discount a few times. That's a good one. And then as far as like more of the consignment or whatever, I like Lost Girls. I don't know if they have a ton of men's clothes, but
I don't think so. I've been in there a couple times. I don't know. I don't think I've actively gone clothes shopping in 3 years. Like pre-COVID for sure. I have
that's
not
crazy.
gone in like
to any store?
I mean, I've gone into stores, but I've never been like, I used to love like back to school shopping. Like I was kind of that kid. And I liked like,
it's the time to
knowing the
reinvent
outfits
yourself.
I'm going to be like wearing to school. In like 5th grade when I wore like a fucking polo shirt every day to school.
I know, so crazy.
I was in 5th grade for some reason. I thought that at some point it became like a point of pride. I was like, no, I'm going to wear a polo shirt every single day. And I had like the 5 outfits I kind of wore, and I just like cycled through them. And
totally.
Dumb, but so cool.
Extremely cool.
But no, I was thinking I like haven't gone and like actively shopped for clothes, then being like, do these pants, like gone into the dressing room and tried on a pair of pants, because I had like some pants that I really liked, and then I ordered the exact same pair from Target, and I'm like, these look different and feel different, and I just like didn't like them, so I just kept wearing the old pair, which like had a rip in the crotch, I think. And I was just like, I can't like mentally make that hurdle. So I've been like, I need to go like try on a pair of jeans, because I haven't owned a pair of jeans in 3 years now, I think.
I love jeans. Jeans are my fave. I'm not proud of it, but the best jeans that I found personally are from ASOS. I don't shop there for a lot else, but they have good jeans. The other things I bought there have totally fallen apart, but the jeans
interesting
seem to last.
Good denim.
James really likes a brand called, it's not for jeans, but it's for pants. I Love Ugly. I think it's Australian. The name kind of sucks, but I don't think that's really a great name.
I think we could workshop that one.
Yeah. The good news is you can't really see the branding anywhere. So
it's not like big on the butt. It doesn't say like ugly right on the butt. James walking around with big ugly butt.
Yeah. But he really likes those, and they have like all sorts of styles. I mean, I would say he's also, on the shorter side, so they work for that too.
Good.
But good pants. He's the same. Once he finds something he likes, he kind of just sticks to that.
Like get it maybe in a couple different colors if they have it, or a couple different styles. I like that. I have like big meaty thighs, so that's always a struggle too. So I liked the little bit of stretch. That was like a big innovation that I found. I was like, ooh, okay. But then those kept ripping.
Those do rip easy.
I ripped a lot of pants. At my brother's.
Sort of impressive.
Thank you. I'm well built. I got a big trunk.
Dump truck ass. Yeah.
Not UGLY. At my brother's wedding, I was the best man, and we rented our tuxes from, Indy Chino or whatever, the black tux, whatever.
Yeah.
And it had made it the full day, like the suit. It wasn't anything too crazy. And then I was like with my nieces and nephews in the line to get food, and I was like dancing with them, and I like kind of dropped it low. And
at least you made it through the ceremony.
Yes, through the ceremony, but not through my speech yet.
Oh no!
So it literally like a cartoonish, and I was like, and it ripped right where you'd expect. And then just throughout the rest of the night, it kept getting worse and worse and worse until it was like knee to crack basically was ripped. And so I was kind of just showing it off. I was like, it was in Charleston, South Carolina, and I couldn't like walk to my Airbnb where all my clothes are. Like I can't change because it's kind of a whole fit that goes together. That was kind of the point. So, and then I just sent them back, and I didn't really hear anything about it. I don't think they charged me anything. And it's not my fault.
Got off scot-free.
Yeah, not my fault. I got a dump truck. So I should have put that in the notes. True. Like, leave extra butt room, please.
Could you expand them a little?
Just a little give in the crack.
Right. Just a little something. Add an inch or two. I know. Well, if it makes you feel any better, James's brother, on his own wedding, I don't think it was a rental. I think it's like the only suit he owns. Mind you, they gave themselves about 3 weeks. So not a lot of prep time. We're like taking pictures right before we were about to go in the ceremony. And he like looks down and he's like, oh, fuck, there's a hole in my crotch. It's on his own wedding. So fucking funny. So we kind of just rolled with it. No biggie. But so yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
You move on. Fight. It's fun. Yeah. I think it's like, wasn't that important.
Yeah, right. Not a big day. No, definitely doesn't take away from the speech. Yeah. Well, if it makes you also feel any better, I got this amazing dress for my holiday party last year, my work holiday party that I actually thrifted at Good Style. Crazy beaded thing that went all the way down to the floor. It was very, very cool, very heavy, real beads. She had been through some stuff. I literally picked it up the day of the holiday party, so I was kind of just crossing my fingers, hoping for the best. A lot of beads had fallen off already, but, if you don't look too hard. But it had like a slit up the side, and it had it on both sides, but one of them was clearly like sewn off. And then on the other side, it must have just not received that stitch. I'm not quite sure. Through the night, it just kept going up and up and up until it was honestly probably inappropriate for the work holiday party. And I had tights on and everything, so it was not a huge deal. And I was losing beads left and right. You could tell where I was all evening. It was so crazy.
But not like on the dance floor. People weren't like comedically slipping on beads.
Slipped.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and especially all these girls are in heels. I was like, I'm gonna fuck this up. There was like little beads. Everyone was like, yeah, we could tell which stall you used in the restroom. Like so crazy.
The toilet is clogged from all the beads.
It's messed up, Samantha. But yeah, I still have it. Probably will never wear it again. I think she was kind of a one where would have no idea how to repair a dress.
I was going to say, you started using term like the dress didn't receive a stitch. Like the tailor is a gift. I think that's how the guy in Phantom Thread thinks about it. Like it's a gift. Like
exactly
you beautiful garment. You deserve this. No, I couldn't really speak towards.
I don't even have a sewing machine.
I don't. Yeah. A classic Singer sewing machine? No.
So that's probably like a good life skill, but not something that I have at the moment. I tried to sew a button onto something recently. That took me about 4 hours.
That is the worst. When a button pops off, I'm like, I have to throw these out.
Yeah,
these
right,
are done for. Like,
yeah,
like a pair of pants or something. If it loses the main button,
terrible.
I know I could do it.
I know. I save all my buttons too. My mom kind of taught me to do that. So I have like a giant jar of buttons, but I'm never going to touch them. It's just not in the cards.
Never. I wasn't built for it.
No.
My mom, she didn't take me under her wing and sit me down at the sewing machine.
My mom sort of did, however, it didn't stick.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You know, we can't really have so many skills. There's only so much room.
I had to do other things as a kid. I grew up on a farm, so we had lots of farm chores. I milked a lot of cows.
That's kind of crazy. I milked a cow one single time and I almost threw up. It was like on a field trip.
Did it smell because it smelled bad, or
I don't know. I think I wasn't ready for the experience.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah, it's sort of
get your head in the game now, Sam.
Scary.
Like this.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I get it, but I can't totally like put my head in this situation. But it's definitely it's plausible for sure. I get it.
I didn't. I sort of just kind of had a moment. Yeah, I took a couple deep breaths. I think that's kind of crazy though. I mean, you were just saying today it's like what, 80 cows? Yeah,
we milk like 80 cows on our farm usually.
Is that by hand or with machine?
Machine.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have physically like you can like squirt some milk out. I'm putting this on the camera so people know. But generally the bulk of the milk is done by machine. A vacuum. You have like a big vacuum pump and it goes to all of the milkers and you put a little milker on each teat and then you milk the cow dry and then you bring in another group.
So is that like, do we know what that feels like for them? Because as a woman, I can't quite tell.
You could like stick your finger in the milking machine thing and it like just like sucks on it. It's just like a vacuum.
Crazy.
It goes like, it's like a pulsing.
Fascinating. The things that we have engineered.
It's crazy. I mean, it's a huge industry.
I toured a dairy farm in Madison. I used to write for Bravo magazine, the sort of mom magazine in the Madison area. Not sure if you're familiar.
I probably heard it. I've probably seen it laying about.
Yeah. In like the dentist's office or something. But I interned for them and I used to write for them here and there. And one of my stories was on like a dairy farm. I think they did like some ice cream and stuff. I don't remember which one, but it wasn't a super far drive. And then James and I went. He was my photographer. I mostly just didn't want to go alone. And so he came out to the farm with me and we got to see their like milk machine and no cows were in it. But I was like, this seems like kind of a crazy contraption to like, how do you hook the cow up?
And there are multiple types of like barns that you can milk cows in. There's a bunch of different styles. There's like stall barns where they like walk in, you like tie them up and you bring the milker to them. The way ours works is we bring like all the cows into the back, like a holding area. And then we bring in 10 on each side and we're in like what you call the pit. And it's called a milking parlor. So we're like 3 to 4 feet below the cows and then they walk in. So my face is like directly with like the udder and the teats area. So you have 10 cows in there and you prep them. So you like clean up their teats. You dip them with this iodine and then you wipe them off and then you swing the milker over.
I guess I didn't think about it. You need it to be sterile.
Yeah. So you milk 10 of them at a time and then once they're done, you send them out, bring in the next 10. So it's kind of a nice, like
crazy
efficient system we have.
Totally. So if a cow gets milked, can you milk it again the next day or it takes a while?
Usually you milk cows twice a day, in the morning and at night. Or afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I was growing up, we would usually milk at like 5:36 in the morning and then 5 at night.
Would you consider yourself a morning person?
I'm more chipper in the morning, I think, than most people. I'm not like, I mean, everybody has their mornings, but generally I'm kind of, once I wake up, I'm kind of like pretty
ready
good.
To
and
go.
If I am more of a morning person than a lot of people, I think, but not that I'm like 6 a.m. I'm ready and raring to go, but I like getting up in the morning and being like, if I'm out of bed before 8, especially during the week, I aim to get up at like 7:15, 7:30 and just start my day. And then I have been in a bad slump of not like exercising in the morning, but it's nice to do at the end of the day. I feel better, but so I do kind of like in good stretches when I'm like, I'm really like hitting my mornings.
Yeah. I feel like the best version of myself when I'm actually getting up in the morning, but I wouldn't say I'm like awesome about it. I'm probably around that same schedule right now, which I'm really trying to stick to. If I don't exercise in the morning, it doesn't happen, which for me recently means it's not happening, but that is what it is.
It happens to all of us.
Yeah. Well, are you an only child?
I have 3 older siblings. I'm the youngest of 4.
You are? Okay. Yes. So you're all farm hands?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, we all did help on the farm. It goes my oldest sister, Becky, and then my sister, Megan, and then my brother, Adam, and then me. So definitely me and my brother probably did more once my sisters were gone, especially. Didn't have to split it up, and then they're in high school doing all their high school stuff. Yeah. So me and my brother did a lot, and we'd like help more in the
family.
Yeah, you know it. One time, apparently, my sister like came home from college and brought a friend, and she like helped milk. They like had to like scrape the back holding area because the cows go to the bathroom back there, and you just need to clean it up. And she like went back there, and she was like, "We have to scrape this whole thing. This is like child labor laws. Like, what is going on?" And we're like,
I can see how that would honestly be jarring for like she's like, "Where's my allowance?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's like, when do I get paid? And it's like, well, whenever my dad remembers.
She used to like have to vacuum a little bit and then like give her like $20. Yeah. That's sort of like my lifestyle as well. Interesting.
I think about if I had kids, I'm like, there is truly just like no way for me to like replicate the childhood experience I had. Yeah. Or like, not that I wouldn't try to teach them good values and things, but it's just like, truly there's no way for me to like be like, yeah, we have to go and milk cows. Like, you have to go and work for 2 hours tonight after school. You like get home, eat a big old snack. Sometimes I'd like get home, eat a full pizza, and then I'd like, I would always start to fall asleep on the couch at like 4:30, 4:45, and that's right when my dad would be like, "Dylan, we gotta go." Like,
and
I'd be like,
sort of sucks.
I was just napping. Like,
the closest thing I have to that experience is when I'd be kind of in the same situation, napping maybe in front of the TV or something, and then mom would get home with the groceries, and it'd be time to unload.
Woodman's?
Yeah, always.
Oh, we love the Woodman's.
My family lives probably like not even a 5-minute drive from the Woodman's, so
magical place.
And my mom, I don't know what about this woman's grocery shopping was so inefficient, but she went to Woodman's probably like 4 times a week. It was crazy.
That's like me, like without any children or anything, but I also like live in the city children, and I like just like walk places, but like right. She had a car, yeah. So I don't. What's her excuse? But I remember we would go to Woodman's, and I always liked like grocery shopping with my mom, and it would be like me and my brother and my mom or something. We would like fill up an entire grocery cart, like
totally
full. It's like overflowing, and then like there's just like a place you would put it. And people wouldn't touch it, but it's full of our stuff. And it's like,
I know.
Then we go and get another grocery cart and we start to fill it up. Whoa.
Crazy. And all the patrons, everyone else in the store is like in pajama pants and slippers. It's really kind of like, I've never been in a place like Woodman's. They don't really replicate that anywhere else.
No,
yeah.
It's a one-of-a-kind experience.
It really is.
It's like an escape room almost.
Honestly. Also, the layout doesn't really make any sense. All of the flooring's coming up.
Oh yeah, the same. They've like replaced some of it. It is, yeah. You can feel it's like old, and then they like did an addition or something. Like, there's like the Duluth Trading Company. If you've heard of Duluth Trading Company, they're like warehouses in Belleville.
Oh really?
My hometown, right next to New Glarus. For anybody who's curious, their warehouse is there, and they've like built onto it like 2 times. And the first time they did it, it's like 2 inches shorter or taller, and like the whatever outside they used is slightly a different shade, so you can kind of see exactly where they did the addition.
And
it just makes me laugh.
Funny.
It's one of those dumb little things that
really
the whole
hodgepodge of this building. Yeah, sort of crazy. I know. Well, I always think it's wild when grocery stores undergo renovations because I don't know. Did you ever in college live near
Cap Center?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And then they went through their whole reno.
That was big.
It was crazy. They got a deli. I was like, this is honestly wild.
It was luxurious in there. That was the best spot to grocery shop as a college student. And it was the
only one that was affordable.
Yeah. And they had like true value item. I don't know. They had the budget items. It was great. And they had so much like pre-made stuff. It was a lifesaver. It
was sort of the best. And all of the workers were pleasant, which you don't always find that at the, so I have beef with the Tonys. Where do you guys shop? Have we talked about this?
Definitely have. We do like to walk and do a little grocery shopping whenever we can. We'll go to Target.
Do you guys have one of those? We kind of want to get one of those. Like, I feel like all the Asian
granny cart
have them.
No,
those efficient little grannies.
I like to load up my backpack with as much stuff as I can.
Yes.
So it's like really hurts my shoulders and back. Because I don't have that college like backpack.
Oh,
anymore.
Me neither.
Like that was a specific type of like fitness I'll never achieve again.
Same.
So we like to walk, and I'll load up like some Baggu bags. But you can still only get so
crazy.
much.
Yeah.
But
you guys have a car, right?
We do have a car. My beautiful Toyota Camry.
Fuck yeah. That is a whip right there.
Oh yeah. Bluetooth. It has Bluetooth. I think it's the first like car edition that like had Bluetooth. It's very archaic, but
I just sold my car. That was a whole ordeal.
Ugh.
It was sitting at my parents' house for way too fucking long, to the point where they were like pretty mad at me. And I was like, because I didn't want it here. I don't have a parking spot. I actually haven't driven since we've moved here, not once.
Whoa.
It's been 8 months. Well, I mean, I drive when I go home, but I haven't driven in Chicago. So, and honestly,
you're not missing anything.
I might keep that going. Yeah,
you're not missing anything.
I'm sort of fine with that. We've established our roles, and James is driver. It is also his car, so I'm not as comfortable driving it.
People
it's
are
much nicer than
people
mine.
are crazy down here.
Oh my God, they're crazy.
One thing, not to like gripe about my city, my beautiful city, which I've lived in for 2 years. People love honking in the alleys to like warn you're coming.
I know.
Like I get it, but also slow down.
That's what I'm saying. Ours has like these sort of speed bumps, but like people give them no mind. And ours is really a hot mess. It's very hard to like maneuver in and out of. I'm sure yours is the same. I mean, the way that we can hardly scrape by without like touching the dumpster and the pole and it's like, is this city sanctioned? Because who okayed this? It's crazy.
Ours has like right by where I park, there's like a weird like 4-way off intersection almost. Like no stop signs obviously or anything. It's just like poles with people have put tires on because clearly they've. One time I was sitting on our back patio and I just saw like some guy in a van who's like it was like an appliance HVAC van or one of those bigger ones. I just heard like and he had just like hit the tires and was like scraping all the way along his van. Good. And I was like, this is funny to watch from here. But glad that's not me. But no, my parking spot is like right next to where the dumpster is. And consistently the dumpster is just like, I open the garage door and the dumpster is like halfway covering my spot. I'm like, I was in a hurry and then I have to get out there and like really put my back into it. And they just finally cleaned up all this like brush and like crap that was in the way, because I'd be trying to like push this huge dumpster over a bunch of vegetation and garbage that is strewn about, and then there's a speed bump there too.
Yeah,
it's stinky.
Yeah. That's so true. They are like actually disgusting.
Yeah, there's not much I can do about that.
Well, and for us, I don't know like whose garbage cans are all out there, because it's way more than just the people that live in my building. Like there are 3 of us and there are like 25 garbage cans out there. It's like actually nuts.
It's kind of a free for all, it seems like.
Yes.
I got yelled at for throwing my dog's poop away, but I was throwing it away in like their like front little trash can, but they also built this building, so there's like a gate and then there's a garbage can right there that I can just stick my arm through and drop it in.
That's nice.
It's like
the convenience.
Yeah, someone came up and was like, "Excuse me, do you live here?" And I was like, "No." And it's like 8 a.m. in the winter and I'm like hungover or something, like don't have my glasses on. I'm like, everything's kind of blurry. I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Could you not throw your poop away here then?" I'm like, "Sure." And I felt so shamed. I was like spiraled the rest of the day.
There is a lot of shame around dog waste. You can't really do it right. You leave it there, you're a really bad person.
Yeah, I was like, people leave huge piles on the sidewalk. I've almost stepped in. I'm like, I'm throwing it away.
I'm doing my best. Yeah.
Whatever.
Were you gonna open the garbage can and sniff it? Like
I was gonna say, like, are you sticking your face in there? Like, this is I don't know. This is where you walk in.
Yeah.
Like, your baby needs to be introduced to this somehow. Sorry.
Yeah.
I grew up on a farm.
Right.
I grew up what is now right across the street is a pig semen extraction facility.
Maybe you've told me that. That's kind of like an insane thing that I didn't know we needed an industry for that.
Yeah, it's
a facility.
a thriving industry as far as I know. So
and what do they do with it? Is it just to make more pigs, or are there other uses for
like craft semen? Cocktails or disgusting. I think it's purely just fertilization. Well, not to get gross and nasty, I hope, but the thing
this is a
that my dad
fertilization friendly podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Thank goodness. I would mic drop and I'm out of here. My dad has told me this, but cow semen you can freeze in liquid nitrogen, and it
that stuff they make ice cream with.
Liquid nitrogen, yes. not frozen.
Sure, not the frozen cow semen.
But yes, they do make ice cream with liquid nitrogen, which seems very cool. It's always fun to watch on Top Chef. Mm-hmm. But you can like freeze cow semen forever, apparently, and it still is potent or whatever the term is once it thaws. But apparently, with pigs, that doesn't work. It'll like go bad. So they can only service like a certain 100-mile radius or something, because otherwise it's no good if you don't get it there. Yeah. It's like Fast and the Furious. Like, we got to get this. We got the delivery.
So they're just trying to like impregnate tons of pigs within 150 miles.
Yeah, I guess so. That's someone's life goal.
That's so crazy. That is so crazy. And are they happy to have those as neighbors, or?
I think it was a little bit of because pigs can be stinky, very stinky. So
loud as well.
Yeah, it's like a very like airtight. It's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory in there.
Ooh.
White chocolate factory, I guess.
Yeah.
My dad got a tour of it, I know, when they built it, because they wanted to like show people in the neighborhood what was going on. I think they give us like a ham around the holidays or something, I guess.
Of course, yeah.
So
that's crazy.
It's very cool. That's my country bumpkin lifestyle.
Yeah, I know. Well, you really don't read as a country kid, a farm kid.
I mean, we lived in the country, and people called Belleville like a farm town, but I was really one of the only 2 kids maybe in my grade who actually lived on a farm and worked on it. But I was like, especially in high school, I was like, you never would have known I was a farm kid. That's not really not really my style. I don't have my chewing tobacco in. I wasn't, taking all the ag classes or anything. So
did you have like a bring your tractor to school day? Was that
definitely happened. I never partook. I prefer to drive my car.
I mean, yeah, they play songs.
I also never drove the tractor very much. Like, I would not have been comfortable driving that through my small town.
Yeah,
I would have been
right on the streets. Yeah, sort of on your way to school. It's sort of crazy.
There's like children around and stuff. So I was like, no, that's not for me.
Parking it in the lot. Yeah.
Parallel parking on Main Street.
So crazy. I know that's always been sort of like a myth, or you see it on the TV, but I don't.
It's real. We exist.
Mm-hmm. We had, I think it was like moped day, and that was kind of a big deal. I'm way too scared to drive a moped, so there was not a chance. But I did actually drive one once. We went up to the Apostle Islands. James and I went. I had like.
And you drove all the way from Madison to the Apostle Islands on a moped.
Could you imagine?
You and James holding tightly on the highway.
Well, we went off season, which it was like September. So
that sounds like a delightful time to hit the islands.
Well,
to me.
That's what I thought. And we stayed at like one of those classic bed and breakfasts where like everyone's 80 plus. It's all the retirees. It was also a weekday. I basically had, they're called like comp days for if I like work a weekend, but you have to take them within a month. So I didn't have a ton of leeway as far as when I was taking my PTO, but so we just decided to fuck off to the Apostle Islands, but we went to Malin Island. It was actually so funny because we like raced down to the docks because you catch the little ferry or whatever. And we were like, oh, like we got to get our tickets, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, when does the last ferry come back? And she was like, 6. And she kind of gave us a funny look. And she was like, are you going to stay over there all day? And I was like, well, that was kind of... yeah, maybe that was the plan. And we take the ferry over there. Nothing's open. It's a very small island, but the only thing that was open that you could do was rent mopeds. So we rented 2 mopeds and we just drove around the island for like 2 hours. And then it started raining. And we were like, yeah, we're going to head back. We're going to head back. It wasn't the best vacation ever. There was also like a tornado that kind of like blew through the area. So it was kind of crazy.
Yikes. Mm-hmm. Jeez.
But that was my only moped experience.
I've never been on a moped, never been on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Never sat in a sidecar.
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I guess I drove like a 4-wheeler a bunch as a kid, but that's not really the same.
Those
and
are
that
like
was more functional.
Glorified golf carts, right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I think I've been on those. Friends with cabins sometimes have those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mudders. People go mudding. People would always be like, you go mudding in? People, the more like farmy kids would be like, you ever go mudding in that thing? I was like, no, I use it for like work.
Yeah.
There's like a weird like teen kid who's like, no, I have to do work.
Sort
like, I don't, it wasn't really,
vehicle,
yeah. It's like, yeah, I drive milk over to the calf shed. Like, gotta drive out to the cows.
Yeah, that's sort of crazy. I think you probably went to high school with an interesting crowd.
It's definitely a mix. I mean, my graduating class was like 60 people. Most of like 40, 50 of which I've probably known since I was 4 years old.
Right. Yeah, that's always crazy.
Yeah, we didn't have to switch schools or anything, really. I mean, it was always a big deal when someone new was in town.
Yeah.
New kid.
The pressure. Could you imagine?
I couldn't. I was going to say I could never do it. I literally never have done it. Like, I don't know what I would have done.
I was new. I moved from Milwaukee when I was like 8. And so I was new. I went to Falk Elementary School. Great place. Definitely a little scary, but it wasn't like, I feel like in Madison, there's new kids all the time. I wasn't like the only one. So yeah, I liked going to school in Madison. In Milwaukee, my school, I went to Elm Creative Arts, which was like a very artsy school. It had, which is cool. I think it's cool that they like valued those things. I had like theater class. I had a bunch of art classes, drama, whatever. It was a weird school where if you had, I don't know why this sticks out to me so much, but I always brought lunch from home. And you couldn't.
Weirdo.
Yeah, totally. And I was always embarrassed if I had my lunchbox, so I'd make my mom put it in a brown paper bag so that I wouldn't like stick out too much. Yeah. But you could only sit with the cold lunch kids then. You couldn't sit with the hot lunch kids.
Cold lunch kids.
Yeah. So I was like, that's sort of like a weird discrimination there.
That's dumb.
It's so weird.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
It's not even an allergy.
No.
Thing. It's like, we don't know what could be in this bag. Like, you have to sit over here.
And if it was your birthday, all the kids who had the same birthday had to sit at a really specific table, which I was like, don't you want to sit with your friends?
Yeah.
My birthday's in the summer, so I never had to partake. Wow. But yeah, so they had kind of some weird lunch stuff going on.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Otherwise, fine school, yeah.
Performance, yeah. I mean, I'm imagining the math classes being like math of the theater.
Yeah,
like,
right. They're singing.
If we angle this main key light at a 45-degree angle, how many degrees until it's at a 90-degree? Like,
maybe if they would have kept that going, I would have been better at math. Maybe. Sort of not my strong suit. Yeah.
Well, we found it out. Yeah, you got graded in like rainbows and clouds, smiley faces.
Literally, different standards, different strokes for different folks. Yeah.
Yeah, I just went to normal school, I guess. I don't know.
Mine sort of became normal when I moved here. I also had my first bully when I moved here.
Here?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. To Chicago. Yeah. Hilarious.
27 and I just got bullied.
I'm getting bullied.
And my arch rival.
Yeah, straight up. No, I'm sorry. When I moved to Madison, I do that all the time. Wish her the best. Nothing but the best. I think she kind of had a hard life, but she sort of took it out on me, only in the sense of she would steal all the good things out of my lunch. I still brought my own lunch all the time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
so
evil. Like, I'd rather be like mental, like psychological warfare than like taking my food. Like, I had like kind of a bully when I was younger. His name was Dylan also, and I think he had a little bit of a rough life going on, and now I think he's like going to like med school or something now, but apparently I was probably telling my parents about like he's like mean to me or something on the bus. I don't know what he was doing. But my dad like told my sister Megan, like, Megan, you need to like take care of this kid. And my sister, apparently, my dad...
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. My dad told a story at my sister's wedding. He was like, and so Megan went on the bus, got in the same seat as this other kid, and like slammed him up against the wall, the window. And was like, if you ever mess with my brother again, you're dead. Something like that. I don't know exactly what she said, but she's kind of like, I think my older sister is like the most like, the one I'd be most afraid of. She could like beat me up. She could definitely like wrestle me and like get me on the ground even now.
Sure.
She has like post-pregnancy. She has like children, so she's used to like So
yeah,
she saved me. She might have saved me my life.
See, I didn't have anyone to sort of stick their neck out for me like that. Perks or downsides, I'm sorry, of being an only child. Yeah. And I remember I must have clued my mom in because I kept being like, Mom, like, why aren't you giving me the good stuff in my lunch anymore? Because normally it'd be like made up of 4 things: some sort of sandwich or main dish, like a little snack, chips or whatever, fruit or a vegetable, and then like cookies. And always the cookies and the chips were nowhere to be found. And I was like, okay, after a couple times, like, this is getting a little crazy. And so I said something to my mom, and she was like, well, we've for sure been putting that stuff in there. And then one day I saw across the room Avia, kind of like, her name was Avia, she held my stuff up, and I was like, oh my God. And I was so just non-confrontational. I was like, I head down, like, that is not my stuff. Like,
nope. I don't know where you got those cookies, but
literally, I've never seen those in my life, and I don't want them.
Yeah, my mom probably gave you those like directly. She was like, "Here, have these cookies."
Literally,
my daughter doesn't deserve them. She's weak.
Honestly,
I think maybe if my sister hadn't stepped in, I might have had to, I would have had to like maybe stepped up at some point, but
I know
I'm not very confrontational either. I would never would have wanted to do that.
I sort of never did anything about it. I don't know when it stopped, but yeah, I sort of hated middle school personally. Not my favorite.
I get that. I think I look back and I really liked middle school, but I also was like working really hard. And then at some point afterwards, I realized, why did I work so hard like
yeah,
trying to ace all these classes in middle school.
I was kind of doing the same. And for some reason in 8th grade, I got my friend Ruth and I actually were in like dumb kid math, but then we were a little smarter than the rest of the dumb kids. So we got like this special math class on Fridays. So we weren't in like the algebra or the pre-algebra that all the other kids were in, but we were in like on Fridays we got this little class. And the man who taught that class, his breath stunk. He had the hairiest arms I've ever seen. I was like, I don't really want to spend my Fridays with you, but he usually let us out early, and it was the last class of the day. So
that's big.
Sort of, yeah. And math still, like I said, I use a calculator. That's sort of my trusty device. I'm not really one to like add or subtract. So
I got the basics down, but I've kind of forgotten everything. I didn't go to school for math, so
same.
I didn't. I was kind of like, I just know I need a certain base level of this, and I'll get by. I remember doing like, for some reason, I was like in charge of all of the house finances for like one of my houses in college. Like I paid the rent, and then people paid me, and I like paid all the bills. And I like there was one month where
I never took over that role. Yeah,
I don't know why I did it.
Yeah,
it kind of sucked. It would have been so much easier if someone just said, "Pay me this much," and I never would have questioned it.
Yes.
I mean, and I was sitting like with a spreadsheet for so long, and I was like, "Okay, everybody owes me this," and then like 20 minutes later, I was like, "Wait, no, it's actually this much." No, I messed it up again. I don't know what I was. Right. I mean, we also made it complicated because someone was like, I paid this much, and then this person paid. I was like, can we just make it even? Like,
I shared a room all of college.
Whoa.
Which was big. As an only child, I mean, that's sort of, that was crazy for me. I shared with one of my really good friends, Kayla. She was like probably the cleanest, easiest roommate of all time. So she made it very easy on me. But so then we had to do a breakdown there. It's kind of crazy though. I was still paying like $400, sometimes $500 to share a very small space with another human being.
I got kind of lucky. My freshman year, my roommate decided to move out of our dorm, which he didn't tell me that he like requested to move. I just like found out one day when the housing like office like emailed me and was like, your roommate will be moving out and we'll be changing the locks over winter break. Blah, blah, blah. You'll have to return your key and get a new one. I was like, what's going on? Yeah. And I was like, went out and I was like talking to someone in like the lobby of our dorm. And then my roommate walks in, who we like weren't like at each other's throats, but we were kind of just like civil and got by. And he like, someone like asked him, like, whoa, like you're moving out? And he was like face eye to eye with this other person, and I'm sitting right next to him. And he's like, yeah, I haven't even told him yet. Oh. I was like, cool, howdy, okay, like you can move out. But then nobody moved into my dorm room.
Wow,
the next semester, I had my own dorm room for a semester, and it totally
peak luxury.
It was luxurious. I was like used his bed as storage. I could like sleep on the futon if I want. I could just do whatever I want. I had the whole thing.
No
it was
rules.
So cool.
That is really cool.
No rules. Let's go.
Yeah. My freshman year roommate, I decided to do random.
That's what I did.
Risky move, but for me it worked out. Her name was Jane. She was from, I think it was called Warren. Does that ring any bells? Yeah. Sort of like up north, as they say. And
did you do this thing? You point in Wisconsin, you say where it's from? That's a classic Wisconsin thing.
Is.
I'm here.
Yep. Yeah, that's she was kind of like raised. Her and I could not have been more different, but she was a good roommate. Also, I threw up on her carpet the very first night because, of course, got super drunk. And
you were milking a cow and you threw up?
Yeah. Terrible with that, aren't I? And so totally threw up all over her rug. So she could have hated my guts, but she chose not to.
That's
which
good.
Is very big of her.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but she was so funny. She said wherever she's from, they do a giant like cherry festival in the summer. That was kind of their big thing. And she was like, yeah, that's the only thing that's fun in my town. Otherwise, you go on dates, you hang out with friends, doesn't matter. You always just go and walk around the Walmart. And I was like, that is an experience I cannot relate to. Crazy.
I get it kind of, but I also I have the perspective of a kid who there was like nothing in my town. Like we had a Subway and I was
they have the Subway in the Walmart sometimes.
I know, that's crazy. But like, the thought of having a Walmart even in my town, we had to drive 20 minutes to go to the Target.
Walmart?
No.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
No, my town is tiny. We would drive to Verona or like Fitchburg. Fitchburg became a thing. Sorry, Madison local specifics. We would drive to like Madison to do things, and you can hang out at the mall. I would go and walk around Target. Mostly alone, actually. I'd go and like look at all the DVDs and stuff.
Something about walking around Target seems more civilized.
It's a little classier. Yeah. It's kind of like one Michelin star.
Yeah. Totally. I know. I'm not a big Walmart girl. Also, Walmart, I think it's so crazy. You walk in there's toys and then there's guns, which doesn't seem right.
And then there's the toy guns, but they don't really like
there's no
label them. There's kind of in the middle. Yeah. It's like, does this shoot Nerf bullets?
Right into
like
the other. Yeah. Crazy place. I did always love though at the Walmart and I think they used to have this at Target too. You don't really see this anymore though. Those giant like baskets full of bouncy balls.
Oh yeah.
Incredible.
And they're like, yeah, it's like starting to like come out over. Yes. It's like a weird. Now
how do you even get the bouncy balls out?
I know. That's become like the new thing is like the White Claw that they'll build like at the end of an aisle, and it's like they build a wave out of the White Claw boxes. That's kind of
they do that.
The more modern. That's like the modern bouncy ball bin.
Sort of for our 21 and up.
But people were weird. People would also like go to Target and they like ride around on the bikes and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, that's not my style. I'm like civilized. I'm like maybe being like a weirdo and like laughing and joking around with my buddies.
Yeah.
For some reason, we would like this happened multiple times. We would go to homecoming or prom, and there'd be some big crew of us, and we'd drive to Fitchburg or whatever, and we all like eat somewhere, probably like Olive Garden or like we went to like Red Robin one year.
No way. We often went to like the Biaggi's or the Benvenutos.
Bougie. Benvenutos rocks though. Yeah. Benvenutos is great.
It is.
And in between we would like get done with dinner and we still are like going to our prom homecoming dance, but we'd like go to Target and like hang out for a while. So
no
a bunch
way.
of like teens in like my red Kohl's button up and like a black tie. And we're all just like joking around. I'd buy like Edward Scissorhands on DVD for $5 or something stupid like that.
Bring it to the dance.
Yeah, I'd be like,
something to do after. Yeah, that's nice.
We're all watching movies at my house.
Yeah, our dances were kind of crazy. They were really homecoming was always at school, and then of course prom you don't get to go to until later. Did you guys have a Sadie Hawkins or like a?
We did later, like my junior year or senior year. They did something. I think they call it MORP, which is prom backwards.
Twerp. Yeah, which I have no idea why. That was never explained. But those two were always at school, just like in the gym.
Yep.
And then the prom was always somewhere. I think we actually had it at like the Alliant one time.
Whoa. See, this is the thing.
Big deal.
Like everything, we just did everything at our school.
Yeah.
I was always in the gym. We also didn't have like, it was like junior prom and senior homecoming. Like that's who like the court people were, but anybody could go.
Yeah.
You just go. Yeah. Like, cause there's not enough supply and demand, I guess. There's so many kids. People aren't going to go. People are going to go. So.
I think we had to buy tickets.
Well, did you get, but you didn't do like a meal.
No meal.
For the thing. Interesting.
So you're just kind of paying to have the privilege of entering your school, which is sort of crazy.
It's like, thanks for letting me in on a Saturday night so I can dance with all my friends.
Yeah, incredible. I know, it was so funny because every time that a dance was coming around, it was like a mad dash to get an outfit. I don't know if online ordering just wasn't sort of like a thing yet, but we would always hit the Forever 21 at the mall. Really horrible place.
Yeah, it's huge. That's a huge store in there. Is it still there?
I think so. I do believe they went bankrupt, so I'm not sure what that means for the business, but
I haven't been to the Westtown Mall in a while. Town with an E.
Sad place.
At the end, so it's also a little Michelin star vibe.
I went there recently, actually, like last time I was home for Paul's wedding, James's brother, to like do a Sephora. And then I got Annie Ann's naturally.
Yum.
And yeah, haven't been in there in a while. Really sad place. There is not a lot going on in there.
It's pretty depressing in there.
Yeah. And yet they keep building things. They got the Dave & Buster's now.
I know. I've been the Dave & Buster's is kind of fun.
I've been once, yeah.
They have like the Portillos. So it's mostly just like kind of a chain restaurant like hub. Which is kind of what happens to malls at this point, I guess. But it's kind of a metaphor for like the state of our country.
Honestly. Yeah, for real. I know I recently saw Allie and AJ. Are you familiar?
Oh, yes. I'm a big fan. Cowbells.
Yeah.
One of my faves.
Naturally.
Like, as a farm, I felt like, representation finally on Disney. Finally. Middle America.
That is so fucking funny. Yeah, that movie is iconic, to say the least. Yeah, they kind of like came back into the music scene. I love their new stuff, so I've seen them twice now.
Their music is great. I do love a lot of their music. Yeah.
Have you listened to the new album?
I think once, but I need to revisit.
It's really incredible. Yeah, we actually just saw them like last week at the Radius, maybe?
Radius? Downtown? Kind of like Pilsen?
Yeah. I'd never been. It was cool.
It's a nice place. It does kind of have like an old movie theater vibe. It feels like a Marcus Cinema.
Yes, totally.
It has like some neon lights on the wall and like things, but it's kind of just like this big black room.
And they played for like 2 straight hours, which was crazy. But yes, love those girls. And they posted something. I was like, oh, they're definitely in the Midwest. Because I think they were bopping around to Madison and a couple other places. And they're very good at social media. And they posted something like, we feel Allie and AJ in this Chili's tonight. It was so funny. It was so funny. I actually think of all the chain restaurants, I can fuck with Chili's a little bit. I'm anti-Applebee's.
Applebee's, I remember, was like a big step in our family. Like, we went to Applebee's one night because like my family had like some disposable income, and we're going to take the family out to Applebee's. That was like,
especially when you have a family with 4 kids. I mean, kids can eat.
Yeah, so that was a big deal. Applebee's became like, ooh, it's like kind of fancy, but not like, it's not like we would go to like Culver's or something, but it's like, oh, we went to Applebee's? Like, whoa, that's big.
We went to Applebee's. The last time I was at an Applebee's, it was me, my mom, and my dad. And my dad and I had a race the next morning, I think in Milwaukee. We were running like a half marathon or something, which I don't know what we were thinking eating Applebee's before running
big 13 old rack of ribs.
Yeah. And we like literally get to the Applebee's and get sat, whatever. It took forever for them to seat us, even though there was like nobody in this Applebee's.
The Whitney Way Applebee's.
Yeah. They finally sit us. I think we maybe had a drink at the bar first. My mom got pissed because there was like lipstick on her wine glass. She was like, this is disgusting. The wine sucked. And then we get sat at our table. Everyone's in a horrible mood. We just really didn't want to be there. So it's like the 3 grumpiest people you've ever seen. And our booth that we get sat in smelled like diapers. It smelled like just babies, and in the worst way. And I was like, this is like a fucked up place.
It's like that's what you expect at like Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
But like Applebee's is a different. It's like,
and all their workers were like talking mad shit about each other at the table next to us. And I was like, this is so crazy. Like, what is going on? Haven't been back since. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I haven't gone to an Applebee's in a long time. Ugh, that's horrific. Yeah. Frankly. Ugh.
I have a couple friends who are really into Applebee's half apps because they have that happy hour deal.
Yeah.
So
I've like never done that really.
Me neither. Yeah.
There's a weird, having grown up on a farm, we like never really did anything from like 4 to 6:30. Like we always have to milk cows. So like that wasn't really our vibe. We would go to dinner after that. We always ate dinner at like 7 o'clock or so.
We usually were a 7 p.m. family too. I don't know why we weren't milking cows. We were just busy. Yeah.
I think that one time I like went to my buddy's place and we were eating dinner at like 5 and I was like,
I know.
Dinner time? What?
I wasn't even hungry. The sun hasn't even started to set. What's going on?
I want it pitch black before I start eating.
What time do you eat now?
Usually like closer to 7.
Yeah.
We eat around 7, I think.
I would say same. What time do you go to sleep?
I kind of like going to bed a little. I mean, of course I love staying up late, but I can't do it. I literally, I could do it, but I don't like doing it. I try to like be in bed around 10-ish. Depends, sometimes in a bed a little bit early. I've been trying to like stay in my reading grind and it's nice to put in like 20, 30 pages a night or something.
That's nice.
I like to kind of be,
you to sleep.
Yeah, I like to kind of be ready, settled in bed around 10-ish.
That's really good.
At least on weeknights.
Around 11.
Weeknights for sure. If it's 10:30 and I'm not in bed yet, I'm hopefully doing something productive, like watching a game or something. I don't know, finishing a TV show. I don't know, something that's not. I don't usually do anything that's that rewarding after work. It's mostly like exercise, make dinner, and we're just gonna chill and watch a movie, watch some TV, watch a game.
That's ideal.
Yeah,
that's the American dream.
Yeah, it really is. Oh my goodness. Oh. This is what we fought for. This is what
literally
like when not Columbus, he sucks.
He does.
King George sent us over. Apparently, we can trace back some lineage through the Paris family, and there's like signed things where the Paris family was given chartered land from King George himself.
Oh my god!
Wow, yes,
that's sort of crazy. Is that how you like landed your farm?
No,
he was like, this plot of Wisconsin, it's all yours.
That would be very cool.
That'd be crazy.
No, my dad bought it, so.
Way more boring.
I know.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Unfortunately, the like the modern like capitalist American dream.
It is, sort of buy some land.
My parents they had their old farmhouse, and then they built a new house a few years ago on the corner of like our land. So they have like brand new house, but they're still on the farm and doing stuff because my dad's still the main person running the farm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that something they want to hand off eventually?
My older sister is planning on taking it over.
Oh shit!
Actively,
the one who protects you from the bully.
Yes, the one who's big and strong and could beat anybody up for me. The enforcer.
That's awesome. Well, that's kind of crazy. She's like your family's version of like Succession.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I don't know I was going to call her Kendall or Shiv or someone, but
Yeah.
I don't think she's really any of them. I think she's kind of a better person.
Right.
With some sort of a moral chocolatey
compass.
center. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you watching that, I assume? Yeah, sort of the last episode was
It's very
crazy. No
intense.
spoilers, but those
It's
sort
good.
of nuts. I know I was like recently reading up, I can't remember, it was like New York Times or Vanity Fair or something that did like a Murdoch story. So, and all the comparing and contrasting. Fascinating.
Yeah, my family's not like that. We're not like the Murdochs.
Yeah. I have nothing to really succeed to. There's not a lot of that going on. My mom's an artist. I have no talent, so I can't quite.
That's not true.
Well, in that realm.
I'm not artsy either.
Yeah, if I tried to like carry on her painting, that would be I would be doing her horrible disservice. Really, yeah.
It's okay. We can focus on just succeeding in our own lives. I think that's kind of the point I'm at. You know,
that's true.
Doing my own thing.
Mm-hmm. That's always awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me on this podcast.
Oh, of course.
So we're going to have to do this again soon. You're a very good podcast guest.
Oh, thank you.
You're going to become a regular. You're also 5 minutes away.
I'm close.
So
if you ever need me, an emergency, like I'll be here. I'll sprint.
I love that about you.
Well, you're a great podcast host.
Thank you. Did you have fun? Are you having the best time?
I had an amazing time. I've been like thinking about it. I was like, what anecdotes should I bring up? Like, what are the story? What are my story? What stories do I have to tell? And anything I thought of out the window.
Yeah.
So nothing was prepared.
That will happen.
Yeah.
I sort of go into this loosey-goosey. So are you going to listen to it? I always
Of course.
love to
I'll probably listen to it on 2 times speed or so on my podcast app. But that's what I do with every single thing almost.
Fair.
So no offense.
Does that you listen to all your podcasts that way?
Most of them. There are some closer to like 1.5. But once I took the jump, there's no going back.
Sure, that makes sense.
And I just I consume quite a bit, so it makes it easier.
Yeah, you don't have to think quite as hard.
Yeah, I don't.
It's all happening so fast.
Yeah, if I have to live with my own thoughts for longer than a few seconds,
Scary.
it's
terrifying.
spooky.
Absolutely.
It's not for me.
Something I always forget to do, but I'm not going to forget today, is Rose and a Thorn. Have you heard of this thought exercise?
Oh, yes. Rose and a Thorn.
Let's do it of today. And Bud. Rose, Thorn, and Bud. So far. And you don't have to say my podcast.
I would say, the Rose. A couple hours ago, my Bud, doing the podcast. Now it's an active rose. Like it has budded into a rose.
Blossoming as we speak.
Had a beautiful walk this morning with my lovely girlfriend Darcy and our dog Deuce. We had a beautiful
day for it.
Yeah. Drinking a tasty coffee. And it's a beautiful day. I'm just going to enjoy the sun.
I know. It is really nice out. And it's dropping back down next week, so we got to enjoy it while it lasts.
Take advantage of it.
What's your thorn?
The day is, I don't know. It's fading, I don't know. Now I have to I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. And I have to
Scary.
It's the unknown is what I don't like it. Now,
are endless.
And I'm kind of a Libra, or I am a Libra. I'm not kind of,
just a little
but I'm
bit.
Very indecisive, and I don't really know what I want to do. If we'll order some dinner tonight, should we make something? So I'm kind of in that unknown zone that I don't know what we're going to be doing tonight, but I think it's going to be great. We're going to do something
sort of ominous about having to choose what you want to eat every evening. Crazy that
I could scroll
have
through
to do that.
Grubhub forever, and I just land on the same taco place I always order from,
which is
I do like to order from El Taconazo El Tío.
Ooh.
That's for just a bunch of tacos, and they're just quality, chicken, carnitas, whatever.
That's good to know.
That's what I've been ordering from
I don't
a lot.
think we've had that. We always get Big Wig, and I feel mixed. They're fine.
I've walked by it so many times, never gone in.
The good thing is they're open late.
Ooh.
So if you need tacos at 3 a.m.
The Freeze just opened up.
Is it?
Yeah, I saw it the other day, which is
good.
the first time I think the first time we ever hung out. We went to a stand
banana split.
Yeah, we all shared a split.
There's something very charming about that. It feels like we're in the 50s.
Yeah, exactly. Greaser culture.
Yeah.
Poodle skirt.
Yes.
What else? Big old chili dog. We're racing for pink slips. I think that's what people do. Should James and I race for pink slips?
Yeah, we could start something like that. That could be something cool.
It does sound like people race on our street sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Did I ever tell you I figured out who, and they might even be parked outside right now, although I don't see it. I know whose car alarm it is now.
I do hear a car alarm quite a bit.
Them. Yeah, it goes off 2 times a day, every single day. It's actually nuts. And they're not even out there, but they have to come all the way out to turn it off. And it's turn the sensitivity down. I mean, what the hell's going on? It's just so crazy. And it cycles through 6 different noises, which I've never really heard before. Mm-hmm. Sort of nuts.
Interesting.
You would think that would get old, but apparently
kind of a
they
sonic
seem to enjoy the
like a sonic gumbo of sorts, It's
yes.
like, wow.
Okay, well, my rose and a thorn.
Yours.
Let's see.
RBT.
I obviously this podcast was looking forward to this honestly all week. And I will say you also pressured me into some spring cleaning this morning. Much appreciated.
It feels good. Sometimes you do just need that push. This morning I did laundry on Wednesday or Thursday when Darcy was gone, and it's been sitting in the dryer ever since.
Totally. And I'm guilty of that.
I washed
as well.
my
You guys have in unit?
We do.
That's
yes.
nice.
And I washed my showering towels. And I went to shower the first time. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
And I go and grab it and then I've been too lazy to grab the other towel. So I just kind of used the same towel for 3 or 4 days in a row. And then I finally folded my clothes this morning. I was like,
there you go.
I have no excuse not to fold my clothes right now.
James did fold his clothes this morning too. I know there was actually a giant pile of them on the couch just as of yesterday. Crazy how that works.
Do you guys do laundry combined? Does he do yours? You guys do it separately?
No, we're pretty separated. Yeah. I will often end up starting his because he always like before a trip or something, he's like, oh fuck, haven't done my laundry. And I'm like, totally. So kind of convenient that you forgot about all these clothes you own. So I will do that. But he does all the manly chores. I don't take out the garbage. That's just kind of not something I assign myself. So I'm happy to throw a load in once in a while.
A giver.
Yeah, truly. Really, the giving is endless. But yeah, I would say that was a rose for me as well. It feels good to have a clean house. Thorn. Having to close these windows. I'm fucking hot. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's getting a little warm.
Something about the sun right now is also
you're gonna get
really
sunburnt right on the
right
on the arm.
That's always well. Then we'll be twins. And I would say my bud. I'm also looking forward to spending some time outdoors. This week, I had actually one of the most stressful weeks of work ever, and I actually have to work tomorrow. We have this giant client event launch happening, which is cool. It'll be fun, but I barely went outside this week and did not really get to enjoy this beautiful weather. So we'll have to make that happen. So yeah, that's my bud. But thank you for joining me. Of course, Misha was coming in for the finale. Great to see you. But yes, I would love to do this again soon. And I hope you guys enjoyed this wonderful episode. I'm literally so sweaty right now. It's actually crazy. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't know if you can tell that I'm sweaty, but it's really none of your business. See if Misha has anything to say. Oh, there's a little something. That actually never happens. Yeah, we kind of tried that a lot.
That's his rose or his bud? Maybe the thorn?
Yeah, it's hard to say. He sort of always sounds like he's whining, so... But anyways, thank you guys for listening, and thank you for joining me. And I will chat with you guys again next week. Bye!
Bye-bye.
Another cathartic convo in the books. I feel better. How about you? Thank you so much for listening. Now I just want to jump on here and say, don't forget to follow and or subscribe to the pod on your favorite streaming platform for new episodes every single week, because I know you can't get enough of me. Additionally, if you want to gain access to exclusive episodes and lots of other goodies, join our Patreon and support the pod with your hard-earned American dollars. You can find the link in our show notes, or you can also visit us at patreon.com/pessimistic@best. And of course, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at pessimistic@best. And if you're as obsessed with me as I am with you, you can find me at Sam Georgeson on all platforms. And last but not least, I'd like to give a special shout out to my podcast editor and producer, the love of my life, James Arbai, whom I literally could not do this without. So thank you, James. I love you so much. And thank you guys for joining me again this week. I love you too. And I cannot wait to chat with you again soon.